Hello, it's Rin Kare here to give you all the information on immigration, living, and lifestyle in Canada. Stick around and please subscribe. Welcome back to my video. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe to my channel. So come along with me and my family as we took a 3 days, 4 nights off to Jasper National Park. Here in Canada, every summer, every family is looking forward to a vacation. So we took it to Jasper National Park. A few facts about Jasper National Park. It is the largest national park in the Canadian Rocky Mountains. The landscape in Jasper covers an expansive region of rugged backcountry trails and rocky mountainous terrain. Jasper is the perfect place to reconnect with nature and marvel at the majesty of the universe. But most importantly, Jasper is home to the world-renowned Columbia ice fields. That's a huge one. I live in the city of Edmonton, and it's a 4-hour drive from Edmonton to Jasper. But just the drive through the mountains is so breathtaking. From Edmonton, you know you've arrived in Jasper when you get to this lake, which is right by the roadside. Everybody stops at this place, and usually, families get out of the car, jump into the water, and just, hang around for a bit. This is literally you having arrived in Jasper itself, so we had to make the stop as well. I couldn't go in the lake, of course. No, I couldn't. But yeah, we hang around and took some pictures. The boys jumped in the water, of course, but I just love the view, just hanging right here by the roadside and watching other people and other families and taking pictures, of course. It's a short distance from here, and before you know it, you're in Jasper town. Yeah, we got there and went around the entire city, took pictures. Of course, when you're a tourist, you take pictures. But we went around the city because I wanted to know the entire town and make sure that when I want to drive back to the town to pick a couple things, I know where I'm going. So for my trip to Jasper this time, I wanted it to feel more homely, adventurous, more comfortable. And what I did, I chose to live or to book in a more homely type of place, but more adventurous at the same time. And for that, I decided that I'm not staying in a hotel, and I decided to book a bungalow or a cottage by the lakeside. So it was about 15 minutes drive from Jasper Town to Patricia Lake Bungalows. That's where we stayed for 3 days and 4 nights, and this is the drive. 15 minutes later, and ta-da! We finally arrived at our destination at Patricia Lake Bungalows. Here we are walking to our unit. Our unit was Pine Suites. We checked in on time, right on time actually, amidst the hurdles. Driving to Jasper, it's during the time of the fires. If you live in Alberta, you know that when summer starts, there are wildfires, which really burn down lots of communities, and that's what we went through. The drive to Jasper was so hectic, but we were happy to be home, finally. Look at that view. Do you see the lake right by our bungalow? I wanted the sight of water. I wanted a bungalow right by the lake, and I'm not disappointed. It's exactly what I booked online. You do these bookings online. And by the way, just a tip, if you want to travel for a vacation to some of these destination places, you have to book way ahead of time. Yeah, I was glad. And this is us checking out everything. The guys had to check out the barbecue to make sure it works because I told them we're having barbecues for all the dinners at this place, and the barbecue works. Time to check out this place, you guys. So, of course, we had to get into the bedroom. It was exciting. This bedroom was so pretty. It was so cute. I love the windows, it gives a lot of light. You don't even need the artificial lights. I love that. While the boys went to pick the other items from the car, I checked out the house. Here's the kitchen. So clean, nicely organized. In Canada, we drink coffee, so there's gotta be a coffee maker. I wasn't disappointed. I had a stove and cabins fully stocked with whatever you need, including knives. But look at this. The view. So here comes the next morning. We prepared a hearty breakfast in our cottage right by the lakeside. This was exactly what I wanted. Sitting out in the woods right by the lakeside with clean air, very calm, comfortable place. I love nature. I do love nature, so I was craving for this. But the tip on the ice was, having this morning breakfast, a hearty breakfast, right by the lakeside, in the comfort of our own place. It's way different living in a cottage or a lakeside bungalow than in a hotel. Anyways, we had to get up and running for our activities in Jasper, and day one was to visit the Columbia Ice Fields, or commonly called the Athabasca Glaciers. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, but for me, being there, but also being able to take my boys or my kids there was the best feeling in the world. I always wanted it. So we had to drive from Jasper town to the Columbia Ice Fields, which is about an hour and a half to get there. Right there, up there, that strip of ice is where we're going. So we finally made it to the Columbia Ice Fields. There is this building where people collect, or tours and travels collect, from either Banff or Jasper. This was one of the first snowmobiles that would take people to that place, but I'll show you shortly the kind of buses that take you there. So here we are hanging around waiting for our time to board the buses. The process going to the glacier ice is more or less like boarding an airplane. But anywho, these are the buses that take you up onto the glacier ice, the Columbia or Athabasca Glacier ice. Compare with these, which were back in the day, the kind of buses that they used to use, right? Look at this. It was pretty interesting when I saw that. They have it on display, but right now, these are the Ice Explorer type of buses. They're so huge, so fun. Listen in as we go with our tour guide.
Because based on the latest science, it's looking like the Athabasca Glacier will no longer exist in approximately 40 to 80 years. So it's going pretty fast. And likely it will only go faster and faster as the time goes on, because what we're experiencing out in the world nowadays is exponential melt of our world's glaciers. So this isn't just the Athabasca Glacier. Everywhere in the world, coming up to the bumpiest section of our adventure here. So hold on to your hats, because we're about to go for a ride.
Hold on to your hats, they say.
On the left and right hand side, you can see bits of ice sticking through the rock. That's because this is parts of the the ice core moraine. And before I get this big old truck onto the glacier, I got some dirty wheels. Do we have any volunteers to help me wash them?
Being at this place, but most importantly, being able to have my sons step on this place, on this ground, or this ice. I kind of felt like the spirits came down on me. I don't know if you can understand the feeling. It felt a little special. But anywho, if anybody can make it to this place at the Athabasca Glacier ice fields, ooh, right there, it just felt special. But anyways, it was time for me to explore, walk around. But the kind of walking on this place here on this ice is a little different. Everybody's gotta be super duper careful. It's called the penguin walk. I guess you can see how people are walking on here. It's just dangerous. It's so hard. It's slippery. It's ugh. Yeah. Well, we took some pictures, hang around on the ice, and that was about it. We headed home, and guess what? We got a surprise, a grizzly bear. Through our cottage window, a grizzly bear was right there. That is so spectacular. I was scared but excited at the same time. I mean, I'm scared about this animal, but it is exciting to see a grizzly bear, especially when you go in Jasper National Park. That is its main habitat. Not just one, but two animals showed up, visited us right in front of our cottage. This is a deer. Look at that. Watch. Yeah, it was that interesting. The boys hadn't noticed that a deer was right there. It was fun. Day two was visiting the Jasper Sky Tram, which takes you up at the top of the mountains, as well as the Columbia Icefield Glass Bridge. So it was a drive around still in Jasper National Park, which I really, really enjoy. Just driving through the mountains is so breathtaking by itself. And this time around on my trip, I chose to drive as opposed to using tour travel buses. Because I've been in Jasper before and I used to use the travel buses, but I chose to drive this time. Anyways, this is us driving to the Skytram area, and finally we arrived. So we hopped onto that little thing up there, which takes you all the way up on the mountains. But of course, we had to get some snacks first. And later on, hopped onto the Skytram. And here we are finally at the top of the mountains. As tourists, we're taking pictures, really. For the most part, we're taking pictures, but the boys went ahead and trekked around. They trekked at the top. Those are peaks of other mountains in the Jasper area. So our next stop was at the Columbia Icefields Glass Bridge. I think this picture gives you a bit of an idea what it is. So it's like a bridge, a glass bridge atop a deep valley between mountains. It's such a touristic place that if you make it to Jasper National Park, you gotta come on the Columbia Icefields Glass Bridge. You gotta take a walk over there and take pictures and call it a holiday. So day three was specifically just for the kids. I booked them for whitewater rafting on the Athabasca River. I didn't get to go with them. So I dropped them off in Jasper Town. That's where the tour travel buses picked up everybody from. So I dropped them off and yeah, they went and did their things. These are pictures that the tour company took of them whitewater rafting. They shared them with us, as in with everybody, if you paid for them. And yeah, so the kids got to go and enjoy the Athabasca River water rafting. I think they had fun. They really did. I do not have that much adrenaline in myself. I am so scared of being on the water, open like that. So I was like, well, boys are boys. So I'm sure they did have fun. So that really summarizes our time in Jasper National Park. Myself, I loved me time. I loved the quietness of being out in the woods, but super comfortable, the clean air, the breathtaking of the trees. I loved early mornings at the lake, right on the lake, watching that aqua water taking in clean air. I loved our breakfasts on the patio right by the lakeside. And these bungalows, by the way, they do have a jacuzzi where you could relax later in the day. And we took advantage of that. Especially me, of course, I did. And I loved the sunset. Look at that. Ugh.